What's going on, Beret? Who would tank for Trevor? Is this a real Bray? I don't know. Is it the real Bray? Stand up.
He said it is the real Bray.
Oh, I can't see it. It's blocking. My camera is. Bray, appreciate that you're back.
Learn to read, Mitch. And yeah, glad to be back, Bray. I thought it might be Carolina. Then they went on and signed Teddy Bridgewater. In terms of tanking, I don't see a ton of teams that have really emerged right now. If the Dolphins don't go quarterback, they might try to tank for Trevor, but, they tried to tank for Tua this past year. It didn't work out very well. The Bengals won't be doing it. I think you might see a team like maybe Jacksonville ends up struggling mightily. Maybe Gardner Minshew isn't the guy. If that's the case, I think Jacksonville stands out right now as a possible target. I'm also not ruling out the Patriots. I think they might go wild and try to end up doing that.
Do the Jags really have to tank, though, or do they just have to play football? That's the real question. Let's go to the random king of anything. Okay, I like it. Thoughts on Justin Madubuike?
I like him. I think he's going to end up being a pretty firm round 2 selection. I don't know if he sneaks into the top 50, but if he doesn't, I don't think he gets much further out of that. I see a potential 3 technique in the NFL. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, I'll explain. The 3 technique is a defensive tackle in a 4-3 scheme when there are 4 defensive linemen out there. His job is to be more of a penetrator. His job is not to be a dynamic run stopper, though he can do that. His job is to get to the quarterback and bring more pass rush than your typical, big-bodied fatty on the interior whose job is to stop the run. I thought he was pretty well-rounded, though, at Texas A&M. I think he's fairly developed. My concern, though, with Justin Madubuike, who, again, I do like him. He's got a round 2 grade for me. My concern is that he's not going to be able to take the step from being a good player to being a great player. If he's going to end up doing that, I think he has to, A, play lower. He plays a little bit too high, and he has to develop a better plan in terms of pass rushing. If you want a potential player comp, how about Sheldon Rankins out of Louisville, now with the Saints?
All I heard was firm and penetrator, Justin Madubuike. That's Tom's NFL draft analysis. Let's go to Jeff Rogers, one of my dudes here. I'm tired of these other mock drafts that have my Raiders taking a quarterback in the first. Tell me that's not true. I agree. I don't see the Raiders taking a quarterback in the first round, and I think it's funny because John Gruden historically has never taken a quarterback in the first round, but because he's a quarterback whisperer, because he likes quarterbacks, people always just have to go up and say, yeah, he's going to take a quarterback. So, Tom, how about this question here? Who's the better quarterback? Because I actually have seen that there's quite a bit of split here on Twitter and on Instagram. Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts? Now, but Tom, before you get your answer in, because I know where you're going to go, I want everyone to get their votes in. So type L for Jordan Love or type H for Jalen Hurts. Tom, who are you going with?
I'm going to go with Jordan Love. I think that the ceiling and the upside and the ability to be a high-end starter if he goes to the right situation makes him a better prospect and the better pick early on. Although, if the question is, who ends up playing 10 years in the NFL, I'm going to take Jalen Hurts because at minimum, he's going to have a very long and I'd argue successful career as a backup quarterback.
Appreciate that. L for Love, H for Hurts. Let's go to my man, Justin R. Why is Andrew Thomas not being considered more for the Giants at number 4? He has experience at right tackle and can slide over for Solder next season.
Great question, Justin. You're exactly right on that right tackle, left tackle ability. I think for Thomas, relative to the Tristan Wirfs and to the Mekhi Becton comparisons, Thomas isn't the athlete that those two guys are. Now, that's not to say he's a bad athlete, but Thomas happens to be in a class that has 2 off-the-charts offensive tackle in terms of athletic prospects and an incredible one in Jedrick Wills, who had kind of passed him during the season as well. I like Thomas a lot. I would not mind if he went number 4 overall. I think it'd be a quality fit. I just think that Thomas, fair or not, has kind of become the forgotten man a little bit, but he has a straight round 1 grade for me. And in normal offensive tackle draft classes, he probably would be the number 4 overall pick. He just happens to be in a year where Becton's upside is so great. Tristan Wirfs can slot in day 1 at right tackle and be awesome, and so can Jedrick Wills.
Appreciate the question, Justin. Justin, I don't know if you need a new hat in your life. Chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. If you do, This is the hat that you need, because finally the NFL draft, they got it right. They got us a hat that people are actually going to wear. You can get the flat bill one. That one's under $40, or the curved bill hat. That one's $33. You just got to go to chatsports.com/NFL draft hat. We'll put it in the comments section. We'll put it in the description below. If you got your favorite team, I understand it stinks not being able to, I think, actually go to Vegas like we were hoping, Tom. But we will be live for all 7 rounds. We're going to try to make it as real as possible for y'all. And if maybe putting on a hat, maybe putting on your team's favorite jersey helps, that's what we're all about here at Chat Sports. Go rep your team. It'll be in the comments and in the descriptions below. We got Zach Magic. Is Magic real? Y for yes and for no. What should the Jets trade Jamaal Adams for?
A lot. I think picks is really what the trade ends up being. Mystery for Adams. Box. I'd say the asking price is probably a first and a second this year and a second next year in terms of like the more realistic asking price. I don't think the Jets want to trade Jamaal Adams, but if they don't think a deal's going to get done, you should probably trade him right now if that's the route that you want to end up going.
I love this super chat from Rock Lee. Okay, so obviously wide receivers, very, very talented this year's draft class, but I love JaMarr Chase. So where would JaMarr Chase and Devonta get drafted right now?
I think Rock means Devonta Smith, and I might be wrong on that. I'll pay attention to the comments. Let me know if you're thinking of somebody else there, Rock. JaMarr Chase, he might be receiver 1. He'd certainly be in that same tier. Like JaMarr Chase was the best receiver in college football this past year. He was awesome. So he might be wide receiver 1, but I will make note, this is the danger of looking ahead. You end up playing you don't fully dive into the same players that you normally would. Like, you don't do the same detailed research and investigation on future guys. You have a good feel for them, but you might identify something instead that might concern you. So I still think Chase would be receiver 1. Devonta Smith, I think, would probably be an early mid-round 2 pick.
I love this trade question. We got another one coming in from Jamaal Adams. Tom, would you trade Amari Cooper for Jamaal Adams? I would.
You would.
I would take Jamaal Adams instead of Amari Cooper, yes.
In a bubble, I would, but I wouldn't if I were the Cowboys because I just paid Amari Cooper. I'm eating dead money if I then trade Amari Cooper for Jamaal Adams. So if it was like a money-free 1-to-1 swap, yeah, I'd take Jamaal Adams and then draft a receiver at 17. Boom, problem solved. The issue is, from a money perspective, I don't think it's a sensible move.
I wasn't thinking about the money. I was thinking about just player for player. I'll take Jamaal Adams. I think Jamaal Adams is top 3 at his position. You could even argue the best safety in the league. And I know Jamaal Adams is going to show up and play every single game. And we're going to be live for all 7 rounds of the NFL draft. So go ahead, click subscribe, turn on those notifications. We'll be live for about 20, 25 hours. Who can even keep track? But we're going to be giving you every single pick on every single player for all 7 rounds. You're not going to find better draft coverage. And yes, we will get the picks before you see them on TV. So click subscribe. Go ahead, turn on those notifications. We're going to be dropping a lot of videos. Got another super chat rolling in from my man Jacob. Can AJ Epenesa do a 3-4 scheme, or is he just limited to a 4-3?
I do believe that Epenesa would be able to play in a 3-4 or a 4-3. The issue is that the role will end up being different. In a 4-3 scheme, you'll probably try to let Epenesa be an edge rusher, be that typical defensive end, and won't be lined up inside. He'll be out away from the tackle and come in off the edge. In a 3-4 scheme, though, he cannot be a stand-up outside linebacker. So he can't be a pure edge rusher anymore. But as a 3-4 defensive end, what we call the 5 technique, someone lined up over the offensive tackle or maybe just outside of it, where he'll have more of a 2-gapping responsibility. He's got really long arms and he plays with power. That fits pretty well for a 5 technique. So he can be a defensive end in both those schemes, but a defensive end in those schemes, the roles and responsibilities are quite different.
Jacob, appreciate the super chat. And remember to use hashtag NFL or super chat. Get your question on. We got nearly 1,000 people watching us. So just trying to get as many questions as we can. Odell to the 49ers. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I know that Niners fans would love it to happen. I understand why, because, it's Odell Beckham. He's awesome at football and stuff. I don't foresee the Browns moving on from Odell Beckham, not this year. If things stink again this upcoming season, then the Browns might reconsider. But I think that their internal plan is we're going to give Odell one more year. We're going to try to win with this organization because their offseason, by the way, was a win-now move. We'll see if it pays off for them.
I like this question. Chase Claypool is one of my favorite wide receiver prospects. Dude just absolutely killed the combine. Can the Falcons end up getting him? James, KFC, appreciate the question.
Yeah, I don't think Claypool goes round 1. I think the athletic traits might have him end up going in day 2. I actually wouldn't mind Claypool in Atlanta. It just gives them another freak athlete at receiver and or tight end. I am still open to the idea of having Chase Claypool kind of play that big slot, borderline, think Evan Ingram type tight end where he's not really a tight end, but for practicality purposes, he ends up lining up in an inline move maybe potentially at times. But I think that big slot role makes sense. Look, he's a great athlete. The issue is his route running is not there. So if you want to play him on the inside, Julio Jones, and then Ridley on the outside, oh, baby, that's a fun trio at receiver. That's awesome.